our final part of the webinar will conclude with a Why Beyond presentation by Dick Blank. He's the executive director, but due to some unforeseen connectivity issues, the presentation will be actually given by Dr. Haymond. So for those of you who want to stick around after the webinar to ask questions, we'll be here for a little bit. But without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and turn this over to Dr. Haymond.
Thank you, Kyle. I'm honored to be a part of this, representing Dick. He is participating, and his internet connection was dicey enough that we thought we ought to just make sure we got through the presentation. But if you have questions for him specifically, he should be able to answer those at the end if it stays up. So, why beyond? First of all, again, we just want to thank you for being a part of this. All of the participation is just really encouraging to our broader team, the students that have been involved with this, the faculty, all the ways that you're supporting us have been tremendously helpful to Beyond as we've got started. And the question of why Beyond, really is, well, why are we building this new program? What are we doing to make this operational and scale it? How are we evolving in the future? These are all things that we want to answer in the course of this presentation. But more importantly, when you ask why Beyond, it really gets back to that vision that Kyle started us off at the very beginning. We endeavor to be the Midwest hub for Christian entrepreneurial activity. You've heard from Ty Bryant, you've heard from Quinn Tabor. What if we had hundreds of Ty Bryants and Quinn Tabors influencing the culture through the marketplace for God's glory? That's kind of our missional purpose. And really, Beyond is trying to tackle two problems collectively. First, we see that a lot of Christian founders tend to live underground with respect to their faith from their company mission. So first part is we've designed an accelerator to help these startups be mentored by like-minded people of faith. And the second problem we're really trying to address, and that's what the Angel Network is focusing on, is that sources of capital are often and almost always disconnected and indifferent to faith. That's not the case anymore. The launch of our Angel Network and ultimately a fund is going to match Christian founders with Christian funders. And so we're already up to slide 2. We'll stay there, Kyle. The faith-driven accelerator ecosystem, we're just a part of an emerging broader trend. Funders no longer have to travel underground, so to speak. Now, new funders, students, alumni, and friends have a way to accelerate their for-profit ventures through Cedarville and other like-minded institutions across the country. This is going to enable us to have deal flow multiplied nationally as this growing ecosystem of accelerators partner nationwide. Slide. This is coupled with the faith-driven investor ecosystem, which is a little bit ahead of the accelerators. You see a lot of names up here. Ambassadors Impact Network and M633 Capital, you heard Kyle mention earlier, are sponsoring today's event. We likewise have relationships with Eagle Ventures, Lions Den, Sovereigns Capital, all developing in this emerging ecosystem of the potential to share deal flow, show interest in potentially syndicating. All are represented on this call today. And so what does this lead to? Well, first, that problem we were trying to address, no longer are sources of capital disconnected and indifferent to faith. The movement is gaining strength and momentum. It's just really exciting. It's one of the highlights for me personally, and I know it's been encouraging to Dick as well. As many cases, we're having people reach out to us that we weren't aware of. They've heard of what's happening at Cedarville. They've got something similar going on in their areas, and they want to partner with us. This idea seems to be, God seems to be doing a work that's much broader than just Cedarville and allowing us to be a part of it, and we're excited about that. That leads to potentially shared deal flow, syndication, co-investment across each hub of the investment ecosystem. That's going to benefit investors and founders, as very seldom is any one individual angel network going to be able to fund all of the needs of an individual founder. Slide. So who is Beyond? The first thing is just the amazing fact that we are. I mean, to God be the glory, right? Because we've only been doing this a year, and so much has happened in the last year. We have a board of angel advisors that have come alongside. Many of those are founding angels. We'll talk about that in a moment, giving Dick some help and guidance on how we want to structure this, but we have a leadership team here at the university that's trying to make this happen. Dick, as we've heard mentioned, is our executive director of the Beyond program. I, as the dean, am actively involved, but we have other faculty involved, but Jeff Guernsey is doing yeoman's work, especially with the venture capital analyst student team that we had last year. Kyle, as the deputy director, is providing the day-to-day operations to make this happen. And you heard how we just were able to bring Sarah online to help manage the Angel Network. But I'd also like to highlight those students down at the bottom, just an outstanding team that we were able to bring to bear under Jeff Guernsey's leadership this past spring. Unfortunately, with the cancellation, we weren't able to do the event, but we had 4 seniors. And to the right, we have 4 juniors that will be kind of ramping up in the future. These 4 seniors, you've already heard from Andrew. He's headed to JP Morgan Chase. Cam Peak is headed to One Team Marketing. Wesley Brooks to Chase Bank. David Sinconis to Caliber Home Loans. In this tough environment, all of them got good jobs because they were able to have the experiences and the talent essential to be picked up quickly. We expect this to continue with the top students that we have in the future. So what's the benefit of having Beyond at Cedarville? That's another part of this question. We believe that there's a structural advantage of being in a university setting. We have access to the talented faculty, talented students. We have a strong affinity network of alums, as well as friends that are aligned with Cedarville's mission. And that's what most of you are that are on the net that may not have been actively involved in this in the past, but are thinking about coming along because you're one of those alumni or friends today. So thank you for that. If we've been able to accomplish this in just a year, I'm super excited to see what we're going to do in the coming years. Slide, please. Slide 5, financial return and kingdom impact. What will we be investing in? Andrew's kind of already alluded to this, but we're looking for strong investor alpha returns and kingdom impact. So if you look at the kingdom impact in the slide here, some of the dark blue shaded rays, the baseline minimum is you have to be a Christian. Not surprisingly, given our missional focus here. It's advantageous if you have other missional aspects to your business, but it's not necessary. We believe, following the Reformation, that our vocation is a call. And if you are solving a problem in the world, God cares about the problems of this world. So if you're going to use your Christian principles in a marketplace setting, that's the entry point to come into the Beyond process. But likewise, if you look over in the bottom right, the financial return, we're looking for those that are going to have high potential payoff. Average angel investment often yields 2.5 times initial capital. There's no reason why we shouldn't be seeking those kinds of returns as well, because those kinds of returns are precisely what we can do to roll over and fund other Christian entrepreneurs. So we're looking for high performance payoff returns. They've got to be post-revenue, path to profitability. They've got to have shown clear market traction and have had to have a significant thought about what their exit strategy is. And so those are kinds of the keys that we're looking for these missions that are going to go forward. We're trying, to the extent we can, to take part in 2 mega trends that we see in the 2020s. You're probably aware of some of the ESG kind of social goals that we have for Business Day. Purpose-driven companies and profits is the buzzword, even in the secular world. How much more so for faith-based investment, trying to put biblical values in the workplace. So we think that that's going to be very consonant with high profit as well. We think if you run your business effectively according to Christian business principles, you're going to do well. Also, we're focusing on a new technology renaissance. We're already seeing it. Post-COVID world, there are going to be technologies that are going to help deal with the adaptation that's ongoing. We saw some of that today with immersive and virtual reality as being ways to enhance the future. So those are some of the firms we'll be looking for. Slide, please. So the investment process summary, we know, not just because we know, that we're part of the Angel Capital Association and they've done a lot of research on this. We know what makes an angel network successful. We've got to have more due diligence. We've got to have diversification to have healthy returns. We've got to have patience with investments, not exiting too quickly. And we've got to have angel involvement and mentorship of the founders and companies. That leads to success. And that's why on this chart, you'll see our process is heavy with the entry and review process. And then on the backside, we want to ensure that we have angel talent to provide value-added advisement to the founders. And this gets to where what I was referring to earlier, this structural advantage of being in a university comes to play. We not only have alumni and friends with significant business credentials to mentor firms, but we can bring outstanding finance students involved in the due diligence process to curate deals. We may have potential involvement with marketing students and accounting students in other phases of the program. That's where we're going to really apply a hard look at some of the ventures as they come in to make sure that we curate and provide deals that will be very investable. It goes through the process, as you see, of going through a screening committee. Those founding angels, many of them are part of our board that decide on which of those firms actually bubble up to the top to invest in. And then in the investment event itself, we've got a lot of outstanding angels across the community that will be asking those good questions to make sure that we're investing in wise things. And then we'll just, at that point, really, the angels will begin their due diligence process to find out those investable opportunities. Over on the left, I want to make one more point. You see the deal flow sources, because many of you could potentially fit in this as well. We're going to be doing scouting on our own, of course, Sarah, Dick, others. But angels will be referring Christian entrepreneurs to us. And likewise, many of these other networks that we highlighted on the charts earlier are partnering with us again to refer deals like Quinn coming to us from another area as well. That's the way we will be able to ensure that we have top quality investable opportunities. Next slide, please. So what are the investor benefits of Beyond? Well, there are a whole list of them here. I just want to bring your attention to just a few. First of all, what I've highlighted already, this shared expertise that we have with the many talented angels that are part of the Beyond team. That gives benefits both the broader set of angels when we have people with specific skills that can mentor and help us decide on what to invest in. You also get the benefit of curated deal flow. Andrew and the rest of the seniors that were involved did a really outstanding job under Jeff Guernsey's leadership. And then we had a great board of directors that really asked the tough questions to try to see which bubbled to the top. That curated deal flow is a benefit of investing with Beyond Angel Network. And again, this broader ecosystem, that's going to contribute to this as well as we start to partner and have deal flow referred from other sources. When you come to Beyond, we're going to have multiple opportunities a year, invest in events, as well as multiple companies, which will allow you diversification. And one thing we have learned clearly in the angel world, you have to invest in a lot of startups to have success, as most startups, as good as Quinn is and the other startups are and as motivated, some of them, many of them will fail. And so you've got to diversify to have success in this way. So we help provide diversification by providing lots of investable opportunities, but also this is going to lead to our direction to ultimately to go to a fund, and I'll talk about that in a moment. A final thing, investor benefit, just as part of being an angel network, you can talk to your own tax professionals, but there are significant tax advantages depending on how long you hold a startup investment that you may find beneficial. Slide, please. So how can you fund these investments? Well, there are three ways that we've got identified. Obviously, you can join as an angel if you are an accredited investor, but very clearly, you are the investor, not Beyond. We are merely facilitating your pathway to investable opportunities. So as a personal investment, a family partnership can invest. Family foundations can invest. Some of you online are fit that category. You may not know, I didn't know until Dick highlighted this to me, donor advised funds can participate. Yes, your charitable dollars can also be used to invest in startups, to enhance your capital, to invest in more charitable activities. Those are pathways to fund investments as well. Slide, please. So the Angel Network membership itself, since Beyond is part of Cedarville, your Angel membership, we are a fee-based model, but it's a charitable contribution to Cedarville and helps fund the program that we have. And so we have really two ways that are effective for you to join. First of all, founding members at a higher rate. These members are really driving the program and where we're going, providing that strategic direction for the network and helping shape investment strategy, companies that we invest in. These are angels that are really committed to the missional purpose of Beyond and Cedarville University. So I want to specifically thank all of you founding angels that are on the call. Your leadership is instrumental to the success of what we're trying to do here. But also, and very important as well, individual memberships are available for accredited investors who want to use some portion of their investment portfolio to fund Christian entrepreneurs. There are potential opportunities for these angels to also mentor founders as well as student analyst teams. So those are kind of the two pathways if you want to be part of the Beyond Angel Network. Slide, please. So what's next for Beyond? Well, we're gearing up for that investor impact event in the fall. For companies like Immerse, we expect to see Immerse back here, who we heard from today, and you'll have the opportunity to register soon. Kyle will be sending that information as we get the registration set up for that. You can also become a member. We're going to continue our growth. We have approximately 22 angels right now that have joined in just the short time, in the few months we've been setting it up, and we intend to grow that throughout this next year. If either of those roles of founding angel or an individual membership sounds attractive, get in contact with Sarah Jenks. Her email is listed here, and we can give you additional information. The last thing on this slide, the Beyond Angel Fund, as I mentioned, we really think that the best way forward ultimately is to go with a fund, perhaps in addition to the network model, but that's going to allow more diversification faster for angels and provides a bigger pool of resources for these founders when they come in to be able to ensure that they'll have a profitable investment round when they come. And so we're going to be working towards establishing that fund over the next really 6 to 12 months to get it running. If you'd like to help with that, also send a note to Sarah. Dick's going to be looking at that hard over the near term for us to create that. And then just as a final reminder for me, you can go to the next slide. You're aware now of the missional impact, what we're trying to do here at Beyond and Cedarville. If you know of Christian entrepreneurs that need to be accelerated, if you know of Christians that want to fund other Christian entrepreneurs, let us know. Steer efforts our way, and we will be happy to engage with them. And that's it for this presentation. Both I and Dick are available for questions if you have them.